Welcome.
Welcome.
New space.
Who's
Set
whose space?
the space.
Your space.
Nah, this is now, we manifested the living room into the podcast dojo.
Ooh, the
The
dojo.
dojo. You've seen Barbie, right? That new Barbie movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I, I have my thoughts on it, but I did like the Kin's Dojo, Mojo Dojo Casa House.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. Like,
Dude, I love Ryan Gosling.
he's a stud.
He's beautiful.
He is. And then you had Margot Robbie as
Mm.
well, and both of them, man, like, I
Yeah.
swear genetically engineered beings, some of them, like, except
Yeah.
Adam Driver, he looks like a person. He's real. But your
Yeah.
Brad Pitts and Ryan Goslings, I'm like, what tube did they come out of?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're at the Be It One podcast, guys. We got a sign up today, and there's a puppy Gia. You might have heard her a little.
Yeah.
She'll be welcome on sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so Be It One. Where do we want to? We were talking with Austin last episode. So much fun.
Yeah.
What did you take away the most from that?
Oh, man. Funny enough, just thinking about how true his message was, the message he got from water. Like,
And we had a cool talk on our drive home actually
Yeah.
about the water thing too, which you got my brain ticking from Austin getting yours ticking, which is
yeah, it was just, how, you know, at one, any, like, water is the most common piece of us all, of life in general.
well, and then we were talking it's the only, at least that I'm aware of, and that it's the only element that can do all three.
Yeah,
It can be a solid, liquid, or a gas.
yeah. It's pretty interesting. So I think that's probably, I mean, there was a lot of good stuff that came out of that visit. But yeah, water. What about for you?
No, I'd agree actually, man, the water thing. And just being there, doing the grounding, I mean,
Yeah.
the qigong, I hadn't done that in so long.
Yeah,
And so that was really cool. And then seeing Austin as well, I mean, it was cool to finally link up again because it's like we were crossing paths, but we weren't ever finding that time to connect again.
yeah.
And so that was fun, man. It was a
Well,
great
and-
way to start a week.
Yeah, and I think it was pretty powerful how he mentioned that how much he needed us to reach out in that moment. Was like, he's where he lives, gets lonely, he's got his family,
Yeah.
doesn't really interact with much outside of family and work.
He's become a mountain man.
Yeah.
He interacts with nature.
Yeah, he does, yeah. And just, the whole experience was so awesome, man.
It solidified in me where like I'll randomly get a feeling to message somebody
Yeah.
and then
yeah.
I sometimes do, I sometimes don't, but going up there solidified in me like when you get that calling, just
Yeah.
do it. Because both parties are usually needing not needing, but both parties are shifting in a sense. And so when we can come together during that time, like
Yeah.
you're saying, he was actually needing us to go as much as we were needing.
Yeah.
Like, and we had that moment of, do we go? And he
Yeah.
probably had the same, like, do I call him off? Do I cancel? And so, yeah, man,
Yeah.
how was the week after? I mean, like, pretty
Good.
smooth, pretty up,
Yeah.
down life.
Yeah, I mean, up, down for sure. I'm finding myself in a interesting place right now with, like, work, where I enjoy where I work. I enjoy what I do for the most part. There's parts of it that I'm like, I can't wait for this to be over. But it was interesting this week how much more motivated I was to not be there, in a sense, if that makes sense. Like, I know it's not what I want to do, and it, like, for a couple years now, it's just been this, like, when do I take the leap? And it's just feeling more and more like it's that moment's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, working is such a funny word, man. When you break that word down, working kind of sounds like war king, like a king of war. And so it's like, huh. So we go to battle each morning sometimes if we're working,
Yeah.
But you can flip it too. Like I like to think, because I go in and out of similar. And I think it's because we're from the creator, man, in a sense. We are everything embodied in one body. So we are the artist, the architect, the engineer within one, and at times we'll choose what to be. And so I think that's why a lot of us will start a job, we'll be there for 6 months, maybe a year, and then it starts to kind of get old. We learned it, we know it, and it becomes repetitive, like repetition. And I think that is where, you can flip it. You could be like, oh, this job, oh. And Prince Era brought up a cool thing about Monday morning heart attack and things, and it's a cool video too. But yeah, you can flip it though to the more positive of like, I get to work.
Yes.
Some people out there aren't even able to get out of bed. I get to get out of bed. I get to work. Like I don't have to,
For sure.
I get, which is a hard flip. And I mean, I'm a person, dude. There are mornings I wake up and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Really? This is what I got to do today? Like, and I think social media plays into it too, man. I got Instagram back, and now I'm seeing these dudes and gals that they're traveling the world. They're waking up in Ibiza, working out in the morning, going to their favorite breakfast joint, just flowing with their day, not really like, I got to be here by that time for this person and that person. It's, I got to be here at that time for me, for this reason. I got to be there at this time for me, for this, Yeah. And so, social media trips me up a bit.
Oh, yeah, for
Anyways,
sure.
work though. What was something that, like, you said you feel that, you're getting to this point. What would that look like to you? What do you get to do pretty cool stuff at your job now,
I do.
like, which is getting to motivate and
that's kind of the conundrum.
plus
of
you
it
work
all,
with
is
cool
like,
people. Yeah, it's like
they give me such a great opportunity to really do what I am wanting to do with my life, which is life coach. They give me space to do that at work, which is pretty unique.
Absolutely.
And that's actually, to close out the week, I was able to do, it ended up being probably a 2 hour, 20-minute training with 11 people that signed up for it. It's a,
So voluntary, it wasn't like forced.
Right.
That's a decent number too. I mean,
Yeah.
the crew is only like 20 something, so that's half of the crew almost.
Yeah, we got like 30 something now.
Oh, dang.
But
still almost half the crew.
Yeah.
That's
it's
cool.
Pretty interesting. And so it was just cool. I love doing that. We've been doing that for, I think this was the 4th time. It's like if we hit our targets early on Thursday, because we work 4/10s, which is also a perk of working where I work. But yeah, if we get done early, people can sign up for this, and it's emotional intelligence type stuff. And
what do you mean emotional intelligence? If for those listening who don't quite, and I don't quite.
I actually don't love to call it that.
How come?
I think I say it because it's kind of what most people know it as. I don't know. I don't know what it is that I don't love about it, but if I could call it what I want to call it, I think it's just like perception mastery.
Yeah.
Of like, really understanding our perception, and part of that is emotions.
Well, yeah, having discernment too
Yeah.
with your emotions, like that. They say intelligence, but that's from the brain,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do have to think, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Perception mastery.
yeah, just
What do you teach in that then? What's like one of the things you were talking on? You said Thursday you did it?
Thursday. Yeah. So Thursday was actually centered around momentum,
Okay.
because the last three have been uh, more like understanding patterns and understanding the six human needs. Um, so really understanding ourself at a different level. It's cool. Like when I learned about patterns and when I learned about a new pattern, it's like, oh man, that makes sense. But I think that's like in that moment, I think that's my experience. So then when I get to like show somebody else and they're like, oh my gosh, it's like, oh yeah, yeah, this is pretty easy to like relate to.
Yeah.
And to me, that's beautiful. It's like that's truth. When when you could share it with anybody and they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Absolutely.
It's like okay.
That's where, yeah, it's kind of like how in the Bible Christ spoke in parables. He never told people what to do. He always would say a question in a sense. He'd say wording, a sentence that got the person's mind thinking
Yeah.
on it. So to
Yeah,
learn
that's cool.
something and share it to me is kind of similar in that aspect of like, you're like, what, wow, my brain's farting on it. Anyways, continue, please. Sorry, man.
No, you're good. Yeah. So leading up to this, actually, and I didn't intend on including this in the training, but it kind of just led to it. And so earlier in the week, I had this idea of a new kind of writing, and I actually realized my girlfriend had the idea first. I just forgot about it. And
So she told you, and then
so
you were like,
so when
not
I was
until
telling
it's,
her, she's
yeah.
like, I had that idea. I was like, oh shit.
Did she bring it up to you too?
Yeah. I was
Oh,
like,
dude,
oh
that's
yeah.
that's when you know it's a good idea.
Yeah.
When it's like,
Yeah.
it's,
So I actually I'm getting sidetracked again, but I'm gonna I started writing it like as a book. It's gonna turn into a book. But originally it was just an idea of like, you're familiar with my Gatekeeper series,
yeah,
like just a series of writing that was my original idea. But yeah, it's gonna turn. Anyways, the first one I started to write, I like had this metaphor come to mind. So it's the way it's written is just me having a conversation with a therapist.
an actual therapist, or it's you in your
Just
mind,
yeah.
you created that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool,
Yeah.
dude.
So it's nothing that like if anything, the therapist, like as I write these, like the therapist will be teaching me something that Austin taught me.
Yeah,
The therapist will be teaching me something that Tony Robbins has taught me. So like in a sense the therapist is all my teachers.
yeah. Well, I have had some weird experiences. I've done therapy too, a little, but I've been journaling before, and it's somehow turned into my own therapy session
It
with
does.
myself.
Yeah.
And so that is cool that you're making a book of that, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I think it's gonna be freaking awesome.
I'm already intrigued. I'm
Yeah.
like, one of my favorite books is Outwitting the Devil, or Conversation with the Devil, and it's back and forth. It's this guy and he's interviewing the devil, and it's
Oh,
like, it's kind of it's, if you haven't read it, I recommend it. Like
that's cool.
yeah, it's a cool one. I think it's Napoleon Hill
Oh,
wrote
okay.
it. He never published it though. Like,
Really?
I can't remember if it was him or a different guy, but yeah, he wrote it back in the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Jeez.
Never released it because he was scared, in a sense, what it would create, like cause.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I don't even think his kids did it, but their kids. So his grandchildren were the ones that got it published and out there. And that wasn't until like the 30s or 40s, I think.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez.
But the book, so
Yeah.
you implemented something Thursday then that came from the book, or that?
That came from my first writing, yeah. my first entry,
You
which
cool
was
to share that, or?
yeah. So I was my conversation with with the therapist in my writing was I just imagined myself sitting down in a session, and therapist just asking how was your week, and me saying I don't really know, and then of course, well, tell me more about it, and it was like I just kind of feel empty, numb, and then that just like sparked this metaphor, and so just long story short, the therapist is like, well, let's try something. I want you to go ahead and close your eyes, and like as I'm writing, he's grounding me, so take some deep breaths.
Yeah.
Getting me grounded like we did with Austin. And then just saying, I want you to picture that feeling of emptiness and numbness he just asked me to picture it and tell him about it. And I was like, it just is like this empty hole. It's this dark hole, kind of like a well. And so there's the metaphors, this dark well. And so then it was like, okay, well, let's talk about the well, and it's like working through. And so
you could even go deep with the well, though. Although it's dark and
no
deep,
pun intended.
There's water. Yeah, well, there's water at the bottom of
there
it that you need
yeah.
to live. And so it's like
I didn't even think
a
about that.
deeper metaphor
actually.
is go through the dark and the well to get to the water.
Well, so that's, yeah. I didn't think about the water, but yeah, the therapist is walking me through this and was like, all right, stare into the darkness, tell me what you feel. And then it turned into this, I can't remember the next feeling that came up for me in that moment, but it was like, I can't remember. But anyways, then the therapist is like, all right, I want you to take a deep breath in, exhale, take one step towards the well, and then leap. Just jump in. And I was like, wait, what? And he's like, you're okay, just jump in. So then the well turns into fear. And it was like, I didn't want to jump into the well. And so then I jump in, and as I'm like, this is all a visualization exercise, with eyes closed.
Oh, you didn't really jump in a well? I'm kidding. Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
So, jump in and then for me, what I realized was like, it actually wasn't that scary. It still felt weird, but it was like, oh yeah, this isn't too bad. And then just imagining landing at the bottom, standing there, but still staring into the darkness. And then it was like, okay, yeah, it is still a little scary, but it's not that bad. And then, all right, now look up. And so as you can imagine, like looking up this deep well, you see the dark walls, but at the top there's light.
Yeah.
And so, to me, that was what I was working with as I started writing this. What I started to realize was it was the fear and the love of life, But what I realized is the other metaphor that came to mind was like, when we're standing at the top looking into the well and we're so afraid of it, it's kind of like if you're afraid of a spider and you see a spider and you're in the room. You're so afraid that you don't go to it, you don't kill it. So what you do is you keep an eye on it.
And then it's gone in 10 minutes and you're like, oh, where did
that or anytime you leave or come back in, you're always looking for that spider, kind of like the well. And so even though we're standing outside the well in the light, we don't notice the light because we're so focused on the well.
Ah.
And so in order to see the light, you have to go into the well to then see the light. The only way out is through.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was cool. And then like the walls, when I was standing at the bottom, I was like, well, I'm still a little worried. And the therapist was like, well, the opposite of worry is hope. They mean the same thing.
Yeah. I'm not a big hoper.
Me
I won't
either.
lie.
Me either.
I'm not a big, like, the word hope to me, I'm like,
Yeah. I say it unintentionally, but like when I really think about it, I'm like,
faith is
I don't
another
wanna
they
hope.
use. Faith is one that I'm like, just know. Just know. Like, it'll always be okay. It's weird. It'll always be okay. It never is not. Like,
yeah.
I like that, though, worry. And Because that is the flip, you know. I don't
Yeah.
want to only know the negative words. And
Well,
so,
and the message there is the only reason you feel worry is because you're seeing the dark walls.
yeah,
If you focus on the light, and
yeah,
he had me do that, focus on the light, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't, I'm not worried anymore.
yeah,
I'm excited.
right,
I want to get there. And then it was like, all right, imagine that all of a sudden you're just being lifted up and you're going towards it. And it was just like, okay. And then, yeah, you just come out of the well. And so,
like Superman, poof,
yeah, just
breaking out,
and then
yeah,
it was just
dude.
like, all right, now that you're out, what can you feel? It's like, just, I can't remember all the things, but it was just, and I learned this actually through my life coaching class. Calls it the ladder of purpose, I think is what it was called. But I was kind of doing that just as I was ascending. Was like, all right, now that you feel happy, now that you feel free, you know, and it's always, what can you feel now? What can you feel now? And so you're just like going until it's just like, oh man, now all I want to do is give. I just want to give this feeling to other people. I want to help people feel this. And to
Yeah,
me, that's like the highest level of purpose, is like when you have all those other things to the point that you can truly just give back.
yeah.
It's like,
Well, it's like self-love, they say. Like when I got to work with Austin a little, one of the girls I was mentoring actually taught me this because I viewed self-love a little different, and then maybe somebody taught her too. I'm not going to say like if she came up with it, holy crap, phenomenal. She's a
mm-hmm.
genius. I already thought that, but this would add on. She showed me a diagram she had drawn, and it showed, you know, one cup here, but it was like a bigger kind of like gas tank looking thing.
Mm.
And then there was one over here. And this column was your self-love, and this was your love for others. And the moment your self-love got to the top, there was a tube that led it down to the other one,
Mm.
right? So for the viewers, you have the love for yourself, like self-love and love for others. And the moment your self-love gets full, you then have love to give to others.
Mm.
And you can now fill their glass.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like that to me, where,
Yeah.
you know, that gift of being able to give knowledge or give like kind of life lesson type thing. It's like, that's what we're all here to do.
Yeah.
But we forget that. And it's
Yeah.
like, we're just here to help each other. And how was your day today?
Yeah.
That's as simple as that, man. Ask somebody who's helping you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. We all just
Yeah.
gotta slow down, I think, in a sense. Like, I was up at Bryan Head 2 months ago snowboarding, and the dude was stoned off his gourd who was running the register. This guy could not even, he was like
Hmm.
staring at the screen, just gone. And the people in front of him seemed like they were stoned too. And it could have been acid. I don't know. Never done it. But they were just out of it. And it took 20 minutes. And it's like 5 degrees outside. And I didn't put on all my gear because I thought it'd be a quick. So I could have gotten mad at that, right? Like, it's cold. I didn't put on all my gear. This guy's taking forever. And
Yeah.
that did pop up. And then I went, but you didn't put on your gear.
Yeah.
You weren't prepared for this moment. He's doing his thing. You showed up not ready.
Yeah.
So I just accepted it, right? Stood in line. And then when I got up to go, he's like, one moment. And he stepped away from the desk and was gone for like 5-10 minutes. So it was like, dude, it's almost been an hour. I want to go snowboard. Like, it's night skiing. I don't have much time. And he gets back and, you know, I let my anger go. I was pissed. I won't lie. I was pissed. The people in the line, you can feel their energy too. And if you're not aware of it, you'll just feed off of each other.
Yeah.
I breathed and I looked down at his hands as he was typing, and I saw the number 666 across his knuckles, right? It was flipped though. And so I asked him, I said, is that 6 or 9? And he said, it's 9. And I said, you know, that's the highest number there ever is or ever will be. No number is bigger than 9. And he's like, yeah, you know that? And I was like, think every, you know, you go 9, then 1 0, 1 1, 1 2, 2 0, 2 1, and it just cycles back through. And so we built this little bond, and yeah, the people in line, then I felt their energy shift from being pissed at him because he was taking his sweet time to me. I could feel it behind me. I was just like, oh, they are angry.
Yeah.
And, you know, as I left, I told them all, I was like, everybody have a great day, ride safe, thank you guys, and just left, you know, because I love all the time, man. If I walked away with that idea of, you know, the energy that was shot at me and then I deflected and puffed up, yeah, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So that's where, you know, we just be patient and give to each other. Like,
Yeah.
we don't need
Yeah.
to add bricks to each other's shoulders, you know.
For sure.
Gets
Yeah.
heavy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Ran a
That's-
little.
That's
So-
great. No, it's perfect.
Over here drinking coffee out of Blackbeard.
There you go. How's
Do you
it
know
taste?
much on pirates?
No.
No?
No.
I love pirates.
Why?
So to me, they were the last true democracy,
Okay.
which sounds weird. The idea people have of pirates are these like crazy, like crackheads of the ocean, basically, you know, like wild bunch. But they actually were pretty honest people. They didn't take the wealthy's money to just have, they took it to give back to smaller community. So they were almost like a Robin Hood. And Blackbeard actually never killed any men.
Really?
Yeah, history has found that out. When he was the most feared pirate of all time, the dude had dynamite hanging in his beard. Like, yeah. He had not dynamite, but fuse-ins, and he'd light them when he'd go on a boat, so his beard was like smoking too, and that's where Blackbeard. But yeah, he told his men too to strip down once. And like they raided this British ship naked for fear up here, you know? I mean, the British had never seen anything like this. A boat
Yeah.
full of naked, crazed men comes up and they start boarding their ship. They're like, oh, like, holy crap, these aren't gentlemen. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool, man. Pirates were cool. And they voted. Like, the crew decided the captain. And if
Really?
they wanted to overrun the captain, then they would vote on a new captain. And yeah, man, like the crew decided it, is what I like. To me, that's
Interesting.
America, like we the people.
Yeah.
But we're losing sight of that too. And that's not red or blue, that just is. Like I'm not political.
No?
No, you know what the word politic means?
What?
Poly is Latin for many and tick is a blood-sucking insect. So think on that. I'm like, nope, I don't. It's for the people, if yeah, corporations want to be involved, they can. That's cool. I dig that. Like, I eventually want to own a few,
Yeah.
but I think it always comes back to the people. But us as people are kind of, to me, we're separated pretty big right now. Sorry, I'm running with something, but it's kind of scary. Like, I don't watch the news anymore, and yeah, just due to the fact that people are getting so separated. And it's all been programming, every bit of all of it. Like, it's the way we're perceiving each other in the world. And maybe something will occur, things will get better. But I think, like we kind of talked last week about the killing one version of yourself for another to reborn. I think that's the state we're in. Like, talking with Austin a little more too, it's like, we're just in that little bit of death phase right now, and I think we'll be reborn.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been watching, do you watch Netflix much?
Yeah.
Have you watched 3 Body Problem?
Haven't yet. No.
It's weird.
Is it?
It's a trippy one, yeah. And it's kind of like I've had to close my eyes a lot. I don't know what it is. Like each year I become an old lady more and more to where like gore. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, my spirit. Like, oh, I hurt. Like,
Yeah.
and there's a scene, this little girl, the sun rises, and it's a chaos
Spoiler,
era.
dude. Spoiler.
Yeah, a little spoiler. It's not
Oh.
going to ruin it, but like this girl goes out in the sun and like dries up, like all gross, and her body like deflates. And it's funny because last week Austin was talking about the dehydrated. In this show, that happens in these periods, but they keep the person's body, and then when the chaos era is over, they put the body in water, and it reabsorbs, it rehydrates. So these people have taught themselves to dehydrate themselves for survival. It's kind of it's a weird Weird show. I'm in it now to finish it and see what happens, but I'm like episode 3 and it's just like, what the hell have I been watching?
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Crazy.
yeah, ran with it. The alien head got me on it.
Yeah. What's this alien's name?
I don't know, dude. I've had that thing since I was 4.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Like, my mom got it for me for a birthday. It had a bunch of suckers in it and a top on it and a little like sign that came off the back with like the name. And yeah, I lost the top of his head and now he just holds the fern.
Yeah.
Never named him. Maybe Stan.
Stan?
Stan's a good alien name, I think. It's kind of like when you call like Netgear or something and it's always, thank you for calling Netgear. This is Stan.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not Stan. You can say your real name, buddy. Like, you don't got to do that. Like, your family's legacy needs to live on. Say the freaking name. Like,
Yeah.
this is Stan. No, it is not.
Yeah. That's funny.
I think that's racist, man, that they feel they got to come here and change their name to something super white.
Yeah.
I'm like, why can't it ever be, this is Jermaine? Like, I've never met a Jermaine. It's always Stan, Tom, Tim, Bob.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't know, man. Why can't there be a white guy named Jermaine?
I've met a white guy named Jermaine.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, names are funny, dude. They really are. Like,
Yeah.
my sister's white as white can be, and her name's Tasia.
Yeah.
Like, when they lived in Florida, it killed me because, like, these gals would call their work, and she'd be like, yeah, this is Tasia. And when they'd come in, they'd be like, where's Tasia? And she'd say she was, and they're like, nah, where's Tasia for real? Like, this isn't Tasia. We talked to her on the phone. It was
Yeah.
funny, man. Like,
No, that's great. That's funny. Well, yeah. What about your week? How was your week?
it was a week. It was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, a blur. It's weird. All weeks have become a blur lately. And that's not bad, I don't think. I think that just means that, I'm not really having any big significant ups or downs. It's
Yeah.
just kind of what is. And nothing really stood out this week that I can think of. Yeah. I learned a lot in a sense of my own world, in a sense, and like choices that I made this week that were kind of like, okay, like bombing down to St. George and then to Mesquite Friday night.
Yeah.
And then, like I made that risk to go down because I thought I had a place to crash in a sense. And then that shifted. It's life, man. We
Yeah.
cannot control this outside, only this,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, shoot, Friday night, well, Saturday morning, basically at 2:30, I left Mesquite and drove home
Dang.
and got home at like 4:30 or 5. And yeah, man.
I've had nights like that.
Yeah, just living,
Yeah.
like, and that was like, that's what's standing out because that's what occurred most recently. But if I were to think back, each week there's always so much, man, like, just a ton, like, but yeah, nothing really big stood out, like, yeah, just life,
Just life.
just life,
Yeah, that's all it is life.
right? I can't even. Played pool last night. That was pretty cool.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
How'd you do?
Oh dude, no.
Not good?
Yeah, I mean I play for fun. I'm not
Yeah.
playing for money yet.
Yeah.
No, a guy you know Verge.
Mm-hmm.
He was cleaning table.
Yeah?
Man, yeah. I asked him if he'd jump on this actually, and he's like, hell no. It's
Yeah?
like, come on. Yeah, he was like, no.
Yeah.
He's such a humble dude though.
Yeah.
He really is. Like he's with it,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't just say that because he's Native American. Like he's,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't say chosen people often, but I think their people knew what was up.
Yeah.
Might not be, the whole idea of chosen people, dude. Like, I think for anybody, when you hear that term, unless you're a narcissist and you're a part of the chosen people, but when you hear it, you're just like, aren't we all?
Yeah.
Like, we all are here.
We're all here.
We're all here. And if you're not here, then you're not. Like, that's how it goes. So if you're here, you're chosen. It's not just some random fluke of, I don't know, apes. I can't stand that idea, man. I didn't come from a monkey. No.
You look like a monkey.
I smell like one too. No, dude, last week I was going to say it, but I do have what is called the Brigham Young gene, where I think a lot of people in the state of Utah, like if you look back at their ancestors, the genes haven't gone too far. Like, you know.
What is it? Like, what's the Brigham Young gene?
Well, this state was started out of, multiple wives in a sense. So it's like the Brigham Young gene is like the stronghood gene that's just continued on through the state. Like when you look at certain people from this state, you don't even have to know what state they're from, and you'll go, that guy's from Utah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, and maybe that's I don't know what that'd be called. Biasm? Is that being biased? I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Never heard of that.
No?
No, never heard of the Brigham Young gene.
You got it in you.
It's
You
my
are a
last
young.
name, yeah.
I know. So you are the Brigham Young gene, man. Like, I'm like, come on. Never heard of it? You've heard the 3 most perverted towns in Utah by order?
Mm-mm.
Fillmore, Virgin, Beaver.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I do love this. Dude, Beaver is one of the funniest places to me. Like, their liquor store is Beaver Liquor.
Yeah.
And they have Beaver Taco. And like,
yeah.
they're marketing it.
They need to. They need to market it more, I think.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a place near us called Berry Knoll Pizza.
Yeah.
And to me, Tasia pointed it out, actually. We were cruising, and I'm like, have you ever eaten there? And she's like, no, I don't like anal. I was like, what? And she's like, Berry Knoll? Berry Knoll Pizza? Bear Anal Pizza?
Oh.
Berry Knoll? I was like, oh, it's kind of close.
There you go.
Somewhat.
That's
no.
funny.
We're derailing, sorry. People got 30 minutes in, and then it got weird, and they're like, okay. Stick with us, though. We're coming back.
That's good. That's what we do.
How was everybody's week? Hopefully they'll reach out.
Sounds good.
I really want people to reach out, man. I do so bad. I'm like, just shoot one of us a freaking message. Doesn't even matter. You could make up a profile, make up an whatever. If you don't want to do it, as you, do it anonymous. And
yeah.
I'd give you my address. You could write me, Mel, but I don't know. That's risky biz.
No, don't do that.
Right?
For sure, leave a review on whatever app you're using to listen.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we have these are all going to be uploaded on YouTube. So you can also find us on YouTube now.
And we are switching it up soon-ish, too. Not crazy soon and not switching it up, but like camera-wise, we're going to build into this.
We're going to evolve,
yeah, this isn't... I hope each episode gets a little tighter knitted in a sense, and I feel that it is. I don't hope. I know that it is.
Yeah, it is. It is, yeah. Absolutely. So, yeah, if you're the type that, I like to watch my podcasts. I don't love to listen, so.
Yeah.
If you're that type, go find it on YouTube. We've got 1 episode there now. This one will be the 2nd. So.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Drop a thumb.
Yeah.
Shoot a comment.
What do they say? Turn on that bell.
Hit that bell. Yeah. Ring that bell.
Yeah.
It needs more cowbell. Gong, gong, gong.
Have you rode more cowbell?
Dude, yeah, that's a fun trail.
It is. It's super beginner, but.
No.
Yes, it is.
You can push on that trail.
Yeah, but it's so beginner.
Dude, I wheelie. Every time I get there, I wheelie and I tap my front tire to the bell.
You do?
Ding.
Yeah, I can't do that, dude.
You can. It takes practice. I had to eat it a few times.
As of right now, I can't do it, Derek.
You know what it is.
Maybe I could if I tried.
You haven't taken. You say, as of now, I haven't taken the time.
Yeah. Because
you can do it. Anybody can do anything, man. It's just what we put our time
possibly.
To. Not possibly. Not possibly. Not ever, dude. You could.
Could a paralyzed person do it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
on a mountain bike?
Absolutely. I'm serious. What's
Could a
his name?
quadriplegic do it?
Paul something. There's a guy who ate it on a mountain bike, became paralyzed and had to walk with like crutches after he taught himself to walk again. There's a movie on him. I'm spacing it, dude. He's a badass. And
Yeah.
he rides e-bikes now, like no tomorrow.
Could a quadriplegic?
Remind me what that is.
Paralyzed from the neck down.
You know, dude, I'm a weird thinker. I'm not in their body. I'm not, so I can't say what is for them, but they
Yeah.
can.
I just think that
You
there
know?
are, like, so I'm not getting this out of thin air. We started watching the TV show 911.
Is that like tied into cops, or is it a
No,
real, like
it's
it's actual EMTs, or is it like based on actual events?
It's fake. Like it's
It's
all fake,
fiction.
yeah.
Okay.
But it's a good show. Like there's moments that it's like, okay, come on.
I can't do it, I
But-
bet.
But it is good. Like
Is it
we're
gruesome?
binging the
Like
shit out of it.
Grey's
No,
Anatomy,
no.
kind of? Because people wouldn't view Grey's Anatomy as gory, but I'm over there like, oh, they just stabbed a pin through his trunk. Like,
Okay,
oh.
then maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe you
dude.
couldn't do it.
Nope.
But one of the characters in the show, one of the firefighters has a son that's got cerebral palsy,
Oh.
and he's like, we just watched this episode. Like he's always taught it, told his son, you can do whatever, you can do whatever, and then his son got on a skateboard and wrecked and got some bumps and bruises and stuff, and it was kind of like this moment where he had to realize that his son maybe can't do everything.
No.
And
No way.
I think so, man.
No
Like,
way. Those bruises are reminders of what to do different next time, in my mind.
Which they did,
Like,
but he can't do it like everybody else.
no, but yeah, that's what's even more beautiful though, if you break it down.
Yeah.
Like, I am grateful for the way my body operates, but when I see somebody that's body operates in a different way and they find this click and flow of that,
Yeah, they can do it.
they live in their
Differently,
greatness
but-
in a different order, and by doing that, I think they're living greater than we.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
yeah.
know, it's like, holy crap. Like, I follow a guy who was base jumping in Idaho, and his chute didn't deploy, and he smacked the ground. And like, now I think he's working out of getting out of the wheelchair, but he skis, dude, and he like on a tripod ski machine.
Yeah.
This dude's
yeah.
hucking spins and backflips and drops, and I'm like, I don't dare do that with this body.
Yeah.
You're doing it in a totally different manner.
Well, yeah, dude. If you
It's-
can't feel, no. I'm just
That is actually,
Just
that's a
joking.
different point. But I almost wonder, because my ex works with a woman who, she was skiing and a tree impaled her sternum.
Jeez.
Like, this woman was a badass skier too, and she boom hit a tree and it jumped. She's now in a wheelchair. She works at our library. She's freaking cool. Her husband's a badass too, and they'd be cool to actually bring on.
Yeah.
She still skis though, but she brought up that she feels her limbs still, and it feels like when your foot falls asleep and you get those pins and needles. And I was like, you feel that all the time?
That would suck.
But I mean, you learn to
Yeah.
be strong.
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah,
say
yeah.
it'd suck, but you'd learn to be strong, I
It
bet,
would suck
too.
for a time, for sure.
Oh, dude, you'd have to each day, like, we have to each day remind ourselves of the gratitude. And when
Yeah.
life shifts like that, it's the same thing. You just, what am I grateful for? What is?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
No, absolutely. And yeah, I'm not saying like
it'd be so hard,
I'm
dude.
not saying that not everybody can do everything
Yeah.
in a sense that like, yeah, okay.
I get what you
Your-
mean.
your
A
mind-
blind
your mind
person
has a
isn't going to
lot.
be able to see a photo and take a photograph. A deaf person isn't going to be able to,
Yeah.
like, but they are in their own way, like we're saying.
Yeah.
Like, they
It-
find their
I
beauty.
think it would be actually cool if a blind person did carry a camera around and,
And did
took pictures of what
photography.
they thought something was,
That would
and
be
then the
so
caption would
cool.
be what they thought it was. Dude, that would be pretty
That
cool.
would actually be interesting.
That would be
I would follow that page.
fuck yeah, man.
I would.
That would be cool. So,
I might just go dump some bleach in my eyes, dude. I'm
Just
like,
to-
this
to be
sold.
that person?
I'm done. I'm gonna be it. Clyde, for the purpose. Like,
that would be cool. Maybe there is somebody out there doing it.
Yeah.
I have to look that up.
I know there's this kid, I swear his name's Anthony on Instagram, and he does like modeled cars, but he poses them in front of places and takes photos to where it looks like they're real cars in a parking lot, not
Oh,
like
yeah.
these little models.
Okay, yeah.
He's cool, dude. Yeah.
That's way cool. Sweet.
I don't know. I'm a sucker for like just people that do their niche.
Mm-hmm.
Like people who are not like, oh, what are others going to think of me? Like I'm setting up model cars out front of In-N-Out. You
Yeah.
could be in your head all day on that. Like, oh, but you know, the people who aren't, who just do,
Yeah.
like, yeah, you're with it. You're
Yeah.
just being at one. Like,
Yep.
you know, like,
Yeah. Just embracing it, man.
yeah. Dude, it's funny because last Sunday we had so much to talk on, and this Sunday, like, maybe in the next episode I'll talk a little deeper, but I kind of want to just more
Yeah.
fun today,
Yeah.
like a
No,
little.
yeah. Just kicking it, man.
Yeah.
For sure. Nah, it's fun.
We all moving to Florida the end of the year?
I don't know.
Be it one might be happy on the beach.
Well, yeah,
No.
Sydney and I definitely want to move to Florida.
I've been talking about it a little too, actually, man. Like, yeah, just for a little bit, like snowbird almost would be the ideal.
I
Like,
think you would do really good in a beach town, man. That's your lifestyle, I feel like.
I'm the buckskin bum, dude. I'd be the bum of any beach.
I like that. The buckskin bum.
Yeah. Bree's buckskin Bree,
Yeah.
and I'm just the buckskin bum.
That's funny.
No.
No, like when we do move, we'll have to figure out how to keep podcasting for sure. So
Or
it'll
I'll
either
just
be
move
you move
out too. Yeah, we'll see where life's at
or
that
we,
point.
or we
Like,
figure it out. Yeah.
we wouldn't figure it out. I'd go.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. 10 months out of the year I'm in Florida, 2 months I'm here. Maybe even do 9 and 3. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I do like
cool.
9 and 3.
Yeah.
It was weird. So I went to the DMV Wednesday. I lost my wallet last Friday.
Yeah.
And so I went and got I went to the driver's license division over in Hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
And fastest time I've ever had at the DMV, dude. I walked through the door. She asked if I had an appointment. I said, I thought I did. I didn't. Filled out the application, walked back over to her. She took my photo, handed me my number, and right as she handed me it, they called it. And she's like, they can take you over at Station D. I
Yeah.
was just like, what? Guess what the numbers were on the ticket?
What?
D, right? Because it was Station D.
Dick? Yep.
Derek.
Oh, or
Derek,
that.
right? D.
Yep.
3, 6, 9.
Damn, you're fine.
I sugar talking to them about whatever. They were with it. They got 369, dude.
Yeah,
Those
dude.
are some powerful
The
numbers.
369 Mafia, bro.
But it's the unit, like, yeah.
What does
Nikola
369 mean?
Nikola Tesla said, if you can unlock the keys of 3, 6, and 9, you will find out the true nature of the universe.
So what is 369?
What
Get into it.
everything is. What everything is.
Educate me.
Educate you?
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
So it's just, they're kind of power numbers in a sense, because they all double each other, and then
Yeah.
you get to the highest, which is 9, right?
Mm-hmm.
No number, again, is higher than 9. All other numbers are just a remake of past numbers. So there's an idea of manifestation, this method called the 369 method, that came from this whole idea, but I haven't fully even learned how to unlock it, dude. I think Tesla was one of the only people that did, and then, you know, his stuff got scrubbed and shut down in a sense. And yeah, the 369 manifesting method is you wake up in the morning and you think up, and you can do it with gratitude, you can do it with what you're working towards, but think up those 3 things or write them down, right? Right as you wake up. Then by lunchtime, midday, you come up with 6 and you write those 6 out. And it could be the same 3 from the morning and then 3 new ones, right? That just doubles it in a sense. Then at night before you go to bed, you write down 9. And those could be the same 3, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, however you want to do it, or you write out a whole complete new order of 9. And you do this every day, and it's a trip. It's a trip, man. Like, you're creating the mindset that you are and that you already have by writing it out and thinking it throughout the whole day. And then before you go to bed is the most crucial to me. Because when we go to sleep, that's when we take the intention from this realm to the next realm, in a sense. So, like, to me, when I go to bed and I have an intention, I go to bed and I sleep on that, in a sense, and I send that out into the universe. And so going to bed with intention in this realm, you then step into the next realm, the dream realm, which is tied into the universe, with an intention, a purpose, a question that you want an answer to. So you're asking, in a sense, by setting that intention to receive an answer. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Like, yeah. I've had some weird dreams in the past 2 months doing it.
Really?
Like, yeah, like of people I've never even met, and like things that, I've never recognized or done. But like there's been a couple where random people will tell me in the dream, like, you're there, you're right there, like, don't stop, like, keep, stick with this, in a sense. It's like, oh, like, and I'm a weird with it, man. I do think that, like, my grandfather came to me in a dream before my uncle, my great uncle, his brother passed away. My grandfather died a year before him, passed on. And I'm asleep one night and he comes up to me, like, I'm at my grandma's house and I'm registering that it's just her in the house. Like, my grandfather's passed on and I'm registering that in the dream. And then all of a sudden I heard footsteps in the kitchen and he came around the corner. And he was just like, hey, bud, how's it going? And sat down by me. And in the dream, I was like, you're not here, dude. Like, thinking that. I was just like, what the hell? And he just sat down like we are. And he was like, I want to tell you about Mac. He's not got too much longer. They found a tumor in his brain. And he just gave me the rundown, right? And he's like, it'll all be okay, though. And like, dude, the next morning I woke up. My mom had gotten a text from Mac's wife and my grandma Sue, like Grammy Sue. And it was exactly what my grandfather told me in my dream. That Mac had a brain tumor. He had 3 months to live. And like, wild.
Crazy.
Yeah, dude. But I think we can connect into that. Like, and I don't know. I smelt my grandfather's tobacco and cologne, like his tobacco pipe. Yeah. And he had passed away when I was like 12. And then my granny Joanne, this was the night that she passed away. I smelt his tobacco and his cologne, right? And then I smelt her perfume, and then I smelt their house. Got to town, went to bed, woke up in the morning, and my mom was crying, and Granny Joanne had passed away last night.
Dang.
And so to me, like, we get these kind of glimpses, like the bald eagle, man, just these subtle, like, reminders in a sense. Like,
yeah.
But that's with dreams, that's with just, when we're aware of it, we get the messages from it, and that's how I like to think. But
yeah,
I like dreaming, and I like intention in the 369. Sorry, that spiraled, and it is fine.
No, dreams are interesting. I actually had a dream either last night or the night before. So there's this rap group, hip hop group, 99 Neighbors.
That's a lot of neighbors.
Yeah, they're not very popular, I don't think, because I made like the top.
Does he do a cover of the, like, if you're having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son?
I don't think so. And it's not just him. It's a group.
Oh, okay.
And I don't even know who's in the group. Like, I haven't looked into them at all. I like their music. I've showed you a couple of their songs. You just probably don't remember. But I had a dream last night that me and Sydney were in somewhere. I don't know where. But I started seeing these people, and I was like, oh, babe, it's 99 Neighbors. And, like, I didn't recognize them. I don't know who's in the group. I don't know what they would look like.
What if that is?
But, like, in the dream, I was like, oh, it's 99 Neighbors. And, like, I said it out loud, and they all, like, looked at me and were, like, surprised that I, like, recognized them. It was so weird.
Do they show their faces too, or are they
Probably.
kind of okay?
Probably. I just have never tried. Like I like their music. I've been curious at who's in the group, but yeah, it was so weird, man.
I'm weird
Like,
now. I'm looking up who produces shows and movies now, man.
yeah,
I do. I do. Like, yeah. Just 'cause, yeah, there's a lot of subliminal stuff. A
yeah,
lot. Like,
yeah,
and I'd like, I'm not going to get rid of subliminal stuff, but I can kind of delegate, in a sense, what's brought in, if that makes sense. But
yeah,
anyways, 99 Neighbors, though. You
yeah.
think you're gonna meet these guys now? I'm feeling like
Maybe
you
I don't
might,
know.
dude.
I don't know. It was
I mean,
weird.
you got the sweater from Mr. Leak. You know, like
Yeah.
manifest machine over here.
Nah, it was so weird, man. It was very interesting. But yeah, I've had quite a bit of like, some crazy dreams about my dad.
Yeah, like
If
him
you
coming to you and
if you
like,
want to hear about it, it's
I'm always, dude. This is a space to share and just be.
yeah. So most of them are that all of a sudden he's not all of a sudden, but like he's alive, but we all know that he tried to kill himself and survived.
Oh.
And so it's like this weird like he's alive, but we all know what he tried to do type of a thing.
Yeah.
Um, and so those dreams are always like wacky. Like those dreams are always wacky. Um, Sometime last year I had a dream where I beat the shit out of him in my dream. Like beat the shit out of him. Yeah, it was crazy. But one of the coolest dreams I've had was I was in a hospital bed, like ill or hurt or something. And then uh, my dad walked in. He never served in the military ever, but he like walked in like military outfit
Huh.
and had white gloves on and just sat down next to me, didn't say a word, and I just like kept looking at him like, you gonna say anything? Like what's going on? And then all I could feel eventually was, it's all gonna be okay. And then I woke up and I was like,
That's interesting. He was in a uniform though,
yeah,
too.
so
Like,
weird.
I mean,
Yeah.
what if dreams are another, like they talk of the multiverse and all
Another
this web, and what if,
dimension or something?
yeah, like what if when we go to bed, it's just stepping into the other dimension that we don't see right now?
Yeah. Yeah, dreams are interesting. Like,
Oh.
yeah, you can.
In your dreams, I've never had a dream of a place I've actually been, but I feel like I'm at that place, but it looks completely different. Like in my dreams, I know I'm in Kanab,
Hmm.
but it looks totally different. And I don't
think
see the
so.
red mountains the way I do when I'm actually in Kanab, but I know I'm in Kanab, but the houses are different, the layout is different, the hillsides are different, everything about it is.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like it feels like it's one place,
You
but
know
it
it's
looks
home,
different.
but it looks
Yeah.
different, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Maybe that's our spirit. Maybe our spirit's like, I know this is home, but it feels different.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, dreams are very interesting, very. And if I remember correctly, my Sydney has said, because her mom died of suicide, and she's had dreams similar to her mom being alive, but having survived.
Yeah.
And my cousin Tyson, same thing. And that one's actually weird. The first dream I had after him, so he also shot himself in the head. And I had a dream that I was outside of the Luxor in Las Vegas, which is weird because it's an angle, but he had fallen off like out of the top of it or something and hit his head on the ground, and it like I heard it pop in the dream. It was like it like popped, and then he ended up surviving in my dream, like ended up surviving, and it was just this like really weird feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy, man. Dreams are so weird.
It's a trip.
Yeah. So yeah, my dad has come to me couple times, like, but that one where he just was in the uniform and didn't say a word.
That one stuck out.
Yeah, it was like, man, that's weird. Because like usually like they're sad, they suck. Because it's like what's happening is like
shifted.
Like we know that you did what you did, but you're still here, and it just kind of sucks.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
heavy.
Yeah. But that one was way different. It was way, way different. It's pretty cool though. Yeah.
I like that you said you kicked his ass in one too, man. To be honest, like to me that's you working through some of the stuff while
Part
you're
of the
even
grieving,
dreaming. Yeah, like, you know,
Yeah.
It's weird. I've had a lot of dreams about people who have passed on, but like other times I don't. Like and maybe that just means I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. I think it's the Paiute, the Kaibab Paiute, and I might be wrong. I might be butchering this, so no one quote me on this who's listening. But they celebrate when a loved one passes on. They sing all through the night to help that loved one make this journey, and then they jump off Deer Springs in the Grand Canyon. And so they sing all through the night, making sure their loved one makes that journey safe.
They call it a sing.
Yep. Yeah. And then the next day and over the course of the next few weeks, you slowly start bringing up that loved one less and less almost, to where then no one even speaks their name. Because when you do, they have to make that journey all the way back to get to you. And so it's kind of cool. But maybe I don't really speak too much on the people who have passed on, but then I dream about them, kind of thing. So it's like,
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It's all a trip.
Yeah.
It is. Like if I think too much on it, I'll spin out because a sliver of fear kicks in, and then I go, well, brain, you're in fear. Like if it's not love, it's not what's creating this.
Yeah.
Like if there isn't love in the thought, then it's not me, it's not the plants. Like this is one of my favorite ferns, by the way.
Why?
It's called a Kimberly Queen, but I just love the way they look, man. Like, and ferns are actually the only thing here in this realm that is fully evolved. They are at their max. And there's like 150 different species of fern, but they've evolved to their fullest point. Nothing else has.
Interesting.
And there's a thing like if you cut a leaf off or a limb, you give like a token to the fern, and then you hang that above your front door, and it wards off negative energy and stuff. And I don't know. I just feel like from ferns at least, like they're just cool. Yeah. They're hairy. The way they roll out, they're like a ball, and then they like roll out. And
really?
Yeah, dude. Like
is that what this is?
Yeah, if you look, like, yeah, that ball, that one's still rolling out. That one is, but there's some like underneath there.
Oh yeah.
Like they start out as just these little kind of bulb on a stem that's hairy. It's funny.
Well, listen, I got a piece so bad.
I get that, and I mean I could talk about ferns all day.
No, I that's why I'm like, hey.
Be it one, we gotta run.
Yeah.
Anything to wrap up really quick though? I mean, you got.
No, I think there might have been one more thing that I think was really cool about the well metaphor.
Do you want to now or bring it up in the next
save
episode?
It for the next one, because
okay. You gotta. Yeah.
I'm like, dude, let's
drain that main vein.
Yeah, man. But no, I think just there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe what's a closing remarks from you and all?
Closing remark is just, guys, keep being and keep doing. Stay up. You know, the water can get crazy, but just stay afloat and get to where you can walk on it in a sense. You know,
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
And so. Yeah, just be at one with yourself, with everything in your world. And if you need anything, please, like we both have ways that we could communicate with people listening. And I'd love it if someone did, really. Yeah. I would. And I'm not some guru that's like, let me help you with your stuff. It's more, I'm a person that has shit going on. You're a person that has it going on. So
Yeah.
Let's kind of share what's going on in a sense, and that's how we get farther as a people.
For sure.
To me, this is a tribe. Like, let's
Yeah.
build a tribe. Let's have, but not just a nitty, clicky, the whole world be at one. So
Yeah.
reach out, guys.
Hell yeah. Don't reach out to me right now because I got to pee.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,